U.S. President Donald Trump's newly tapped Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has been given the full backing of his boss to prepare for the U.S.-North Korea summit. Watchers say the change in personnel should accelerate the pace of organizing the unprecedented meeting.
Well, good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. I'm delighted to welcome Foreign Minister Kang here to the State Department. She was very gracious in hosting me in Seoul when I visited last October, and I'm thrilled to welcome her here to the department as we continue our ongoing discussions on many issues of mutual interest, and continuing to forge the strong bonds that we have between the United States and South Korea.
Mr. Deputy Secretary, before Secretary Tillerson left,
Senior Japanese and U.S. officials have agreed to continue applying maximum pressure on North Korea, and they intend to do so until the country takes concrete action toward denuclearization. Foreign Minister Taro Kono met U.S. Deputy Secretary of State John Sullivan in Washington.
have you heard directly from the North Koreans?
Well, good morning, everyone. Good to see you all here. It's my honor to welcome Foreign Minister Kono here to the State Department. I had the honor of being received by him in Tokyo last October, and we're looking forward to having a productive meeting this morning here at the State Department to discuss the many common interest of Japan and the United States in continuing to build on the already strong and unbreakable bonds between the United States and Japan.
And what about discussions on North Korea? Anything? No question. Thank you. That's from the Japanese.
Kono had originally planned to hold talks with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, but he was fired by President Donald Trump earlier this week. During the talks, Kono said North Korea has broken its promise to denuclearize twice in the past. Kono and Sullivan confirmed that their two countries will continue cooperating closely to maintain pressure and sanctions on the North. They pledged to maintain that stance until it takes complete, verifiable and irreversible steps toward denuclearization. Kono also met Vice President Mike Pence and Defense Secretary Jim Mattis. Kono asked Mattis to cooperate in comprehensively resolving the issue of North Korea's nuclear and missile development and its abductions of Japanese citizens. They agree that Japan and the U.S. will closely cooperate through various channels, including a meeting between their leaders that could take place as early as the beginning of April.
Just 2 days after nominating him as his new Secretary of State, President Donald Trump has heaped praise on Mike Pompeo's track record. In a press release, the White House said Director Pompeo led the CIA to confront threats to national security posed by North Korea and put forth new methods that enabled the interdiction of shipments that violate sanctions on the regime. The touting of his accomplishments is seen as giving credit for his contributions to Trump's maximum pressure campaign against North Korea.
Pompeo is a great choice. That nobody's closer to President Trump than Mike Pompeo.
Pompeo's formal confirmation is pending a congressional hearing, a process that may take some time. But pundits say the pace toward the first-ever U.S.-North Korea summit will probably pick up steam. Pompeo has said he will strive not to repeat the mistakes of the previous administration with regard to North Korea, and highlighted President Trump's accomplishments.
He leaves on the table that discussion for denuclearization. These are real achievements. These are conditions that the North Korean regime has never submitted to in exchange for conversations.
Known to have more hawkish views than the outgoing Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Pompeo is seen to be capable of taking a hardline stance on North Korea in future denuclearization talks. Washington Post columnist Josh Rogin wrote on Thursday that the State Department is set to regain relevance with the new incoming chief. On the organizational side, Pompeo is leaning toward discarding much of the State Department reorganization project Tillerson had prioritized, an effort which has been hugely unpopular. Pompeo is expected to establish a new team inside the current bureaucratic structure aimed at creating less havoc while still emphasizing his own priorities.
South Korea and the United States are set to release the specifics of their annual spring exercises, could resolve in full legal next week. The drills were originally supposed to kick off in late February or early March, but were postponed until after the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics and Paralympics to encourage North Korea's participation in the Games. Whether the drills will be held as normal is a major question. Some think South Korea might want to scale down or shorten them to help continue the thaw in relations with the North. The Defense Ministry in Seoul has been firm that the drills will be held, but it's been tight-lipped about the possibility of making them shorter or smaller. Any further details, it said, will only come out after the Paralympics end on March 18th. But local media reports say that the drills will in fact be shortened and held at a lower intensity than previous years. They say roughly 200,000 people will be involved, 100,000 less than previous years, and the drills will focus on defensive operations. The full legal exercise of field drill will reportedly begin in early April but last for only 1 month, not 2. And unlike the past 2 years, it may not involve B-1B bombers or nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. 𝘕𝘪𝘵, which is a computerized simulation, is expected to be held for 2 weeks starting mid-April, and military sources say it will be on a scale similar to last year's. The exercise will simulate countering a North Korean attack and striking Pyongyang's nuclear and missile facilities.